And happy new moon in Sagittarius. Wasn't quite ready yet to come live. How's everybody doing? Hope that you all enjoyed some time either through the holiday season or just through your weekend to really sit with whatever's being brought up for you, for us right now, because from my experience, it's been a lot. And I received a reminder again this morning of, new moons are powerful, first of all. Powerful openings for new potential, new manifestation, new creation, shaking off and releasing the old. Hi, Lisa. Hello. And my, did I have a lot of the old come up for me over the last few days? Either old stories, old versions of me, because we're tested a lot of times and asked, hello, Darren, asked, how am I actually perceiving this right now? Am I looking at this situation or this person or these words that were used or anything that's coming into your, hi Martin, into your field of consciousness? Is it through the lens of pain, wounding, abandonment, some of the old recycled, resurfaced emotions, or are we able to see and perceive ourselves and others through a clear lens? Because Sagittarius, energy of Sagittarius is a higher way of, hi Dustin, a higher way of seeing everything from a higher perspective. It is also has to do with the mind, the mental, but our sense of expansion, of adventure. It's ruled by Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is playing an interesting part in all of this because Jupiter in Gemini in retrograde is still in its detriment. So it still takes us extra effort right now to get ourselves into a state of being, a state of awareness, a state of perceiving ourselves, our lives in a clearer and more and healthier way. Honestly, if I'm honest, a lot of the things that have come up for me were not necessarily presented in a certain way, but I felt the energy. Like there was a lot of Mercury in retrograde in Sagittarius. If we are viewing, perceiving, and experiencing something from an old lens, Mercury is going to bring that trickster energy out. And when I say trickster energy, as a reader, as a psychic, I feel that energy. I already know when it's activated within me to have an experience. So then we're like, the mind plays tricks on us, right? Am I really, old guilt, which was really interesting because I had absolutely nothing to feel guilty about, yet I found myself feeling that and experiencing that through my ability to say no to someone and to overextending myself when I knew that I could have, but I chose not to. And I felt that trickster energy there. You know what I mean? So, I was excited about myself finding my voice and just saying, I'm sorry, no. But I still had that underlying, and it didn't arise until later on in the evening, this guilt, like, did I make the right choice? I probably could have. And that involved picking someone up that lived far away and then dropping them back off after doing a whole holiday dinner and cooking the turkey and all this. But I was doing a lot. And so I was like, no, I'm at capacity right now. But that's still that old codependency pattern came up and showed itself to me, which I honored and respected. But, you know, our mind is still programmed to go to the worst case scenario in a lot of circumstances. And that is as a form of protection. So I feel like this new moon energy, along with a lot of the Sagittarius energy, is really helping us to make a decision. Am I going to continue to follow in these old patterns, these old ways of thinking, these old ways of perceiving? Hi, Steph. Boy, we got everybody in here today. Hello, everybody. So, and then I had another blast from the past. I had a couple of them, and I felt this in the energy over the last few days. I felt like some people from my past are going to be coming up, and a lot of times I don't know if that's just coming up in dreams and memories, or if they're actually physically reaching out to me. And this time, they're actually physically reaching out to me. So I found that to be interesting too, and I felt weird about it. Like it felt like, I don't know how to put it into words, but I just knew that there was trickster energy there too. So I kept the communications pretty short and straight and to the point. And if somebody actually wanted to have a deeper conversation with me, they know how to get a hold of me. You know what I mean? Martin says, I watched an interesting interview, if you're into astrology, regarding the last age that fully gestated. Heather, oh, I love Heather Ensworth. She's amazing. And she really looks at the big cycles too, right? So, and I'll have to check that out. Thank you, Martin. When I woke up this morning, I was still lingering on some of last night's. I had at least two. There might have been a third one. I can't remember now, because one was a big one. Blast from the past. Unfinished business. Reach out to me and divulge some new information. Things that my intuitive senses knew, but I didn't know for sure because I really hadn't been in communication with this person for a long time. And if I had, it was very surface, like they were not giving me anything. And I also see that as it's not for me to actually take in. It's a form of universal protection sometimes. But last night I received a little bit more depth, just a little bit. And I still was able to kind of let that go. And ask universe, how does this actually affect me now? Is there a reason why, other than, you know, the past coming back around to clear it? Is there another reason why these people are reaching back out to me after so many years? Eco Arts Living. I literally had old journals jump off the shelf at me. Oh, hi, Tanya. I'll have to tell you about it. Yes, it is just like that. If we're not really in the flow, there are things that are just going to like leap out at us for sure. And this has been an interesting weekend for that. Absolutely. I can't wait to hear about it. But it's like the energy, however it's speaking to you, is actually helping us to kind of clear away some stuff from the past that we may unconsciously, subconsciously still be carrying with us. And I realized that this morning. And so the way it does that is brings it back up into the light of our consciousness, because sometimes we can let things go as far as we think we're letting things go from the past and move on. Yet there's still beliefs, there's still perceptions, there's still energies that are stuck subconsciously. So this is another great release point, or changing the way we seeing ourselves. And this is another thing I got a good dose of last night, seeing versions of myself, and how, even though my intentions with this one particular person was to help them, we had met at an alignment, in the same energy, in the same connection, but when I veered off into my journey, they descended, and it was very creepy and very strange. But I did understand that to a degree. and the old patterns of myself of trying to reach down and pull this person up to see things from the same vantage point that I was seeing things. It wasn't working. And I saw the past version of me where I would use words of persuasion, energetic persuasion, manipulation, not manipulation like in a bad way, but like just trying to get somebody to see things from the perspective I was seeing. And then I finally, like after a while, over time, got the message, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing that at all. I'm supposed to be seeing myself. So then this morning, I woke up and I had a message. These are daily motivational messages that come through my email, but I found this one to be pretty profound, and I wrote it down because I wanted to share it for this new moon energy, because it is important that we kind of shake off stuff from the past and understand that we actually are a big driving force for the experiences that are being magnetically drawn to us. So it says, you will never miss out on anything meant for you. When you hold on to the belief that everything is working out in your favor. This belief empowers you to find balance and thrive even in the seemingly unending seasons of waiting. Shake off the old energy. Reclaim the inner spark you lost over the past few years. Closely examine the way you think about your desires and problems. You can't bring your truest desires into your experience if you remain fixated on thoughts like, I'm never going to have my desires, or my problems will never go away. There is no need for you to worry about a single detail. You are about to witness the transformative power of trust. I found that to be such a powerful message for the new moon, especially the new moon in Sag, because it reminded me of still little versions of me that like kind of gets the hopes up and then drops back down like it's just never gonna, I just gotta let this go. It's just never gonna happen, right? And I kind of got a shaken up about that. Like, knock that off, Paige. What does Dustin say? Pronia is the belief that the universe is conspiring for your benefit. And it truly is. It's just that a lot of the other energetics that we do have to experience in order to clear away from our past and from our traumas and everything that we actually incarnated onto the planet in this life to transmute, to clear, to release, to change. Energy is not created or destroyed. We are the change makers. We are the ones to turn that energy, but we can't fake it. That's the thing. We actually have to go through the motions and do the work, do the inner work, and allow spirit to guide us where we are led, and trust that wherever I'm being led, whatever I am learning, and it's got to feel right. Use discernment, of course, if you know that you are spiritually being led into something that will bring you to your highest, greatest timeline, a highest, greatest understanding of the power that we hold, a highest, greatest understanding of why we had the experiences that we had in the past and what that was meant to teach us, show us, and actually in an even broader perspective, show us what we are clearing for our ancestors, for our lineage, for the collective humanity in general. So it's deep. It's deep. And I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of time today. My grandson's going to be here in about an hour. So, but I wanted to jump on and get some messages. We're not using that deck. All right. Get some messages for us all. Yes, Saturn is the planet, the karmic planet. And is Saturn not in square or opposition to this new moon right now? I believe. I believe. But it's helping us. It's helping us clear karma. Unless you're still stuck in a victim mentality, which that's nothing to be ashamed of. We've all been there. I've certainly have been there for a very long time, even though my ego would say, I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor, blah, 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 blah. I saw over time that that was not serving me at all. That was just my ego's way of protecting me. And I had somebody that used to say I had little dog syndrome, meaning I had a lot of bark, but no bite. They didn't know me very well. I'll tell you that much. That methodical god Janus comes to mind. Or Janus. How do you say that? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right or not. There's so many methodical and you know, the interesting thing also with really diving deep into all of the different mythologies, I have a passion for that too, because it shows me, it literally paints a picture of all of the archetypes that we all possess, we all hold, we all express from ourselves from time to time. What is in one is in the whole. All right, message for us, please. For this new moon in Sagittarius, we really want to, make sure that where's the mind going? Six of Emotions, there we have it. The Six of Cups has been coming up so often in readings I do for others. Zeus. Oh, okay. Jesus. Five of Emotions. This is what I experienced last night with somebody. The moon. Wow. All right. First message. It's a powerful one. Overall, we have the Hierophant, and we've got the wheel below that, Saturn, the karmic wheel, the Wheel of Fortune. And this depiction of the Hierophant right here literally shows the journey. The journey to self-discovery, the journey to learning, the journey to understanding self and understanding that we are connected to everything and everyone. And whatever we do to one, we do to ourselves. And I really saw that deeply in someone last night. And it pulled on my heartstrings. I think that's why I wanted to, again, try to be like, can you see it in a different way? But I felt cut off. I felt like, they're going through a process of their own. They're going through some kind of dark night of the soul. And it's up to me to hold space for them, but not guide them through that, not direct them or give them instructions through that. I was very deeply shown that, and it was hard. That was a hard thing for me to do. The shaman's journey, yeah. So this is coming to deeper truths, deeper understanding, Sagittarius energy, higher understanding, higher learning. The Hierophant also depicts traditions, maybe releasing some old traditions that no longer resonate, no longer serve, and surrendering. There's a surrender here. But not surrender like I give up, surrendering with trust. I trust. I trust where I'm led. This person's been led through this long, windy journey all the way to the top of this rock, looking over, able to see from a higher vantage point now. So we come back to the 6 of emotions. Nostalgia. How many of us have had some deep nostalgic reminiscing come up emotionally? If you haven't, just in your day-to-day or in your thoughts or in your dreams, then they're actually physically, the characters, the people are physically reaching out and reminding you of a point in time. This is a time where, and this could be childhood friends, this could be a nostalgic reminiscence of yourself when you were younger, more carefree. She's playing, there's toys here, there's water, but the water, the emotional body of this card depicts somebody that's longing for a time period that they had experienced in the past that was just joyful, playful, carefree. It's a longing, it's a memory of either self or self with someone else. Most cards depict the 6 of Cups of 2 people giving each other flowers and reconnecting there. But in this card, in this depiction, I don't know if you can see, the expression on her face is more of like, I remember that time. Things felt so much easier then. I was in a better place then. Or I wish that I could recapture this over again. And then when we do bring up the emotions of recapturing a beautiful snapshot in time in our life, because it's no longer in our life now, what comes up is the 5 of emotions. These are hard emotions to swallow. Look at that. It's ice cold. The sadness. For some, even that longing can bring you to despair. Or just seeing everything just, oh. All right, they're telling me a lot of people are stuck in the freeze mode. You know, the fight or flight or freeze. What happens when we are in trauma or we are in fear or we are stuck in a block of time, a chunk of time. This is for those who have been stuck, and this can, if it resonates, it resonates. I know I've been there, and it's almost like you're in this freeze mode. You don't have a whole lot, there's no fire. There's no fire here. There's not a lot of motivation, not a lot of inspiration. Yeah, loss, Martin. But these deep emotions that rise up kind of keep you stuck in that frozen place in time, in that snapshot. And then we have the moon. And I'm already hearing subconscious beliefs, the subconscious, the blind spots, emotional. These are deep emotions that are rising up, and some people may be like, I don't even know, where is this coming from? It's like a well of emotions that just sort of like cascade out of the blue after some kind of reminiscing or revisiting someone or something, a time from the past. And it's hard. But it's important that we continue, that we allow it, because there's something there in those emotions that's like tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, I know this is a really hard thing to go through and feel all over again, but there's there's important parts of you that you left in the past. They're almost like soul retrieval. There's important messages in this emotion. If you can have the strength and endurance to let yourself really fully feel it all, go through it, so there's going to be a lot more depth that is revealed through the light of the moon. Something to be released so that we can get to that state of mind that you know that anything is meant that's meant for you will never pass you by. But what beliefs are we holding on to from the past that have things passing us by because we don't think it's ever going to happen, or we don't believe that our problems will ever go away? We don't believe that, again, the Hierophant, beliefs. And again, if you want to go deeper, it can be linked to programming, from religion to family traditions and belief systems that just are so archaic at this point. They just don't resonate anymore. Yet somehow they're still in the operating system, hidden in the subconscious. And so a lot of these emotions are actually erupting to help clear that cellular memory of the body, really. Wow. Caught alive. Hello. Yeah. Oh, I got a good taste of this one last night. Good taste of it. And it comes in waves for me. It's been a while. It wasn't as painful, or I say the emotions were still painful, but it wasn't close to being as painful as it had been in the past. And the only thing that's painful about these emotions is because, yeah, for me, I suppose there was still a story inside saying, I guess that's just never going to happen. Or I guess that's just never going to happen with this particular person. And also feeling the pain of another and not being able to do anything about it, not being able to help them is so hard. And that's a memory of my childhood too. Seeing someone suffer and feeling very helpless and hopeless about it. Let's get another layer deeper here. Even if it's not a person or circumstance, there have been blocks of energy, waves of energy that come through and bring back up. For me, this has been my experience. Moments in time in the past where I had felt very foreign to this world, very foreign in my family, very foreign in life itself, and it felt very isolating and alone, and that everything that I was doing or involved with was just me going through the motions because being young or being a kid, that's what you do. But there was like something deeper inside that felt very, it was an icky feeling. Leo, and my life is weird. I didn't get anything I want. Imposter syndrome, that coming up too. This is the feeling I got, was not imposter syndrome. I want to try to find words to describe it because it arises every year during the holidays for me. And every year during the holidays, in my past, especially like when my kids were younger and stuff like that, I put all my effort and energy into decorating and making everything. I have Leo like, let's make it happy and fun, make cookies, and I can still get into that. But I was pushing down this underlying feeling of like, something ain't right. Something doesn't feel right. And I feel like there's a lot of people that still do this. I feel like a lot of people put a lot of their time and energy into presenting themselves and their homes and their gifts and their celebration parties and all that as a big presentation, because that's what they've done their whole lives, a Hierophant tradition that's been passed on from their generation to generation. And it's sort of a bypass of the underlying true emotion of this time of year, because we're in the dark, well, in the northern hemisphere anyway, we're in the darker period of the year, where we are meant to kind of slow down and reflect. We've got a lot of retrograde planets asking us, slow down, reflect. This is deep. There's deep emotions that are arising. We've got all this distraction going on outside of us. We wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Thanksgiving and blah, 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 and New Year and blah, blah. Like, it's a lot, and it's enough to just get sucked into it and bypass, skirt, brush under the rug all the underlying true emotions and the depth of what we're feeling. And in the last couple of years, I stopped doing that. In the last couple of years, I sat with myself and spent a lot of alone time during the holidays and during this time of year to really get to the core of it. And I was able to really pull out and remember childhood traumas, and just the feeling of pulling in as an empath, my parents' energy at the time. There's a lot of fear about money. And I mean, there's just so much dark, sludgy, yucky energy that's there, that we kind of fluff on top a lot of pretty decorative stuff so that we don't have to really even look at that. In one of the old journals, I talked about personas used to fit into different situations. Yeah, and those, I mean, we do have all these different multiple parts. That's good. I used to think that it was a superpower, that I could be a chameleon, and I still can. I can fit in anywhere, right? Because you just read the energy, and you know how people are going to actually accept you and like you and all that. But that actually became a detriment to me, which I wasn't fully aware of that until my late 30s, I think, around then, where I wasn't able to play half of those roles or parts anymore. None of them fit, none of them resonated. And the ones I still was playing, of course, we've got a lot of energy. Mercury, the trickster energy, comes around and really tries to rip that mask off of us every single time, right? So it's interesting. But this time it was different. It wasn't a consuming energy. And I was able to like sit with it. I don't know how to put it to words. There's a sadness, a depth of sadness that arises around this time of year for me. And it's not about me, really. I think it is about humanity as a collective and how we act and how we still, you know, if I'm looking out and I'm not placing blame, we're all in this together, get so easily distracted from the true underlying, the underbelly well of emotions that really want to pop up at this time of year. And that's for clearing, so that we can actually call in, attract in. And my last video, I was talking about we're at the great attractor, pretty much. That's 14 degrees Sagittarius. We're still there. It's a powerful, powerful magnetic force that can literally suck in universes. It's that powerful. We are in this energy now. So what are we attracting to ourselves? What do we want to call in? You don't even have to physically do it. It's there. We are magnets. We're electric and magnetic. No, I'm freaking. It is like 29 degrees here. It is cold. I'm freaking cold. That's funny. But maybe I'll get one that says I'm freaking gold too. That's funny. Mm, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we have the solstice. We've got a lot of powerful energy this month. December's going to be an interesting month for sure. And if we're in the flow, if we're working with the energy, if we are understanding how this energy is really helping us with our evolution, really helping us like leave the past in the past, take the wisdom, take the knowledge, take the understanding of like, okay, all of that's done. All that's done and over with. What parts do I want to bring with me? Sure, we can bring the happy, joyful memories. Those are great because we can use that energy to create more happy, joyful, playful, loving experiences. Darren, it's like getting over Santa when you find out your parents have been gaslighting you through your most precious time. I know, that's disillusionment. That's traumatic. And I don't know why we do that to kids still to this day, but most people don't see it the way I see it that way, Darren. I truly do. And again, I'm not blaming anybody. I played into that. You know what my son did? I think he was like kindergarten. And he was so smart. He's so intuitive. And he kept asking, he's like, come on, Mom, give it to me straight about Santa Claus, because there's kids on the bus that are making fun of me and telling me Santa's not real. Is he real or is he not? And I said, well, what do you believe? And he said, I don't know what to believe. And he was really stressed out about it. So I told him the truth. And the look on this child's face was complete and utter like shock, disillusionment, disappointment, like, oh my God, my whole childhood, I believed this magical, mystical experience that isn't real. And like, so what's that teaching them? That magical, mystical experiences aren't real? Sounds like programming to me, doesn't it? You said astrology should be taught in schools. Yes, 100,000% it should be taught in schools. It should be taught to all of us, like more important than, well, I don't want to say math, but I didn't like math, so I'm going to say math. It's more important than some of the basics that are taught, I feel. Absolutely. Of course he was. It's so wrong. Yeah, I know. And I apologize. I'm like, I am so sorry. Now, a year later, I then had met up with my then husband, who had a daughter who was 3 years younger than my son. So she was still really young, and he had fun. He thought it was fun to pretend and fake that Santa Claus was real. Then he's like getting into the adult game. And, you know, I didn't like the feeling of that. I didn't know what to do, you know? And that was part of my awakening was, I don't know if I want to play into this game anymore, you know? It's our first disconnect from the North Pole. Maths, yes. It's a universal language. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. Let's tap a little deeper into this. Tell me about the 6 of emotions. And that's really it. I try to stay in a neutral space and enjoy the joy and pleasure and fun that the children get out of their experience now. But I don't feel that great about it. So that I'm still kind of figuring out how to navigate. Now, I also know that many people live on this planet under the spell of many illusions and delusions. So, I mean, I guess it's all the same, but, you know, if we want to teach our children well, we might have to and I feel like in the future, these things are going to be looked at a lot more seriously. Like, what are we actually doing? What are we actually doing here? Because none of it makes sense. None of it. And that's been coming up a lot because my grandson really loves the movie The Polar Express. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that. It's a great movie. It's about a kid who actually stopped believing in Santa Claus with seeing all the little red flags and signs that his dad was playing Santa Claus and that it was all mechanical and fake. And then in the middle of the night, this Polar Express train pulls up to the house to actually take him on a magical ride to the North Pole. So, you know, I just try to stay neutral. Life is showing me, teaching me so many different things. It's not up to me to change the system or change the belief system, change the traditions. But it's weird going along with them now, isn't it? It's different. Ace of Pentacles. I just got a very interesting feeling in my heart. Where is this going? Very interesting. The Hierophant again. And a lump in my throat. There's some energetics to this message, and I feel like it's hitting me hard. Okay. Can I get one more on Ace of Pentacles? I just want to get a couple more because it's already flooding through. The Six of Emotions with the Ace of Pentacles. So reflecting back on the past, or the past coming back to revisit us. Nostalgic, though. This isn't like the past that we don't want to remember. These are the past things that we actually, our soul wants us to remember. It's our ego that doesn't want to remember because it's no longer in our living experience now. So it's like bittersweet. And we have Ace of Pentacles, which talks about something new. Here's a new moon, a new start, a new opportunity, a new beginning. We have, if we can hold on to the energy, the feeling, the vibration of something from the past that actually had us in a very playful, trusting life, loving, joyful experience, and we can keep the essence of that energy alive within us. When we have this energy of new, which we're in now, new moon, great attractor, all of this, hold that space for and without expectation, maybe not even a visual. I mean, visualization is a great way for manifesting, but if you got a lot of pain that there's still there, it might not work. However, holding on to the essence of that energy, the essence of, because if you can really get into it without having another part of like inner child part saying, no, don't go there because it's never going to happen again. There you go. Listen to that. Listen to those parts. The parts that are saying, I'm never going to have that experience again. This is never going to happen again. We can learn from that and we can change that around. We can change that around. I'd like to feel this way again. I would like to feel joyful, playful. I'd like to kind of let my hair down and not have to be so tense and rigid and structured and worried about other people and how they're going to actually affect me and how I'm going to affect them. Martin says, Saturn, our exquisite humanness. Yeah. Darren says, I can feel it coming back to the heart. Good. Hold on to that. That's the essence that you want to create with. That is the energy you want to create with. What we can learn from and understand deeper is that there are parts within us. They are childhood wounds. They are deep. Some of them we're not even able to bring up a vivid memory, but we know what it feels like. There's messengers in that energy, in that emotion. There are messengers of what story? What story do you tell yourself when this deep emotion comes up? What are you creating with? What story? What feeling? It's like being I've been battling with this my whole life. Having an experience, an amazing, incredible experience, right? And really in it, feeling it, experiencing it. But then, you know, everything waxes and wanes. When that energy kind of goes away, there's either a grasping for it to come back, or another part saying, that always happens. That's how it always happens. It always seems to go away. I just heard something. It always seems to go away. It never stays. Whatever it is for you, there's deeper messages in there that you can really work towards learning more about yourself and bringing your mind into more of a balanced state, a neutral state. Never say never. Watch what words and thoughts are really active in the mind. The moon in the subconscious mind. I think a lot of us are getting a good taste of the blind spots that we usually don't get to see inside of ourselves or experience inside ourselves. Overall, we have the Two of Pentacles. Yes, energy is moving slower for as far as the soul's path. A lot of things might be moving really fast around us and chaotic even. I mean, honestly, Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, I can see the chaotic energy, especially in people around me. Yet I find myself in a very calm, quiet, steady pace amongst it all, which is where I prefer to be anyway. Two of Pentacles. But it's also finding that balance between your inner world and your outer world. Balance between worlds, balance between the head and the heart, balance between the third dimension and the fifth dimension, or fourth dimension, fifth, you know, whatever dimensions. That's all a state of being. Princess of Cups below that. I'm going to get a couple more clarifiers. I don't think I have that much more time. And this is like, I get to have this playtime with Clay, my grandson. Clay playtime brings me back into that childlike spirit over and over and over again. Although I did notice when he was here the other day, there was a wave of that energy that came through, and I almost had to like sit back and let it fester. It was festering in me while like my grandson was engaged in whatever he was doing. And I was just like, all of a sudden I'm not feeling really playful. I had Clay time. I'm not really feeling that playful. Like, what is this? And it showed me. It showed me my own childhood of we can get fun, we can have fun, we can play, and then all of a sudden, like, my past wounds were things were really, really great and got taken away, and then comes back really, really great, taken away. And so I think I still have residual leftover trauma from that, where my body is almost like, don't get too happy, don't get too excited, don't have too much fun, because you don't know how long it's going to be here. These are what I'm personally asking the universe to help me release, let go of once and for all. I saw that in my father too. He had the same energy, very playful, very funny, very like, but then there was another wave. It was like, and it was like pessimist. So this is, you know, generational. It's not just you, it's not just me. It's even from our ancestors that are no longer here. Knight of Pentacles. Oh, yeah. Here's another. Yep. Three of Wands. Okay. Woo. So we're still at the 2 and 3 of Wands. Hanged Man. So another layer of this that can kind of throw us out of our youthful, playful, doesn't matter how old you are, just playful, like childlike wonder with life essence, is that it's taken us a long time to actually get back to this place and embody it, because of the journey, because the journey requires us to go into our pain. It requires us to go into our emotions. It requires us to have experiences that the ego's like, ew, yuck, no, scary. This is the soul's journey, right? And so we have to follow the flow of life, where how life is helping us into a new version of ourselves. But it's taken some time, and I think a lot of us get a little like not even anxious or worried. It's like jaded. It's that story. I guess this is never going to happen. I guess that my desires just don't matter to the universe in this lifetime. I guess that like all my problems I can't seem to solve, because like they're just going to be problems that follow me around lifetime after lifetime. Check your thoughts, check your beliefs on these things. How Saturn restricts us, yeah. How we allow Saturn to restrict us. I really feel it, for me personally, Saturn in Pisces has affected my thoughts, has affected, I've restricted myself in my own rigidity when it comes to certain aspects of life. And yeah, I guess that's true. Even with getting back into that just youthful, childlike spirit, and like having, like allowing yourself to really enjoy moments in life. There's a squeeze there. There's a restriction. But if we go into and allow the emotions to arise, the sorrow, the sadness, the loss, the regret, and receive the messengers that live in that emotion for us. We have the Three of Wands. We are renewed, we are purified, and we are being prepared for a new adventure. Three of Wands, adventure awaits. She's looking, she sees that she's ready to go surfing. She's waiting for the right wave. She's waiting for the call. She's ready. Are we ready? Are we truly ready to actually embrace and embody and experience that which we deeply desire? Page of Wands, Two of Wands. That is the message of the Page of Wands and the Two of Wands here. Can we get out of whatever spell the moon had placed into our subconscious? Can we get out of that entanglement and past belief systems and past stories and subconscious beliefs, and come to a place of Sagittarius? Is that Sagittarius? I'm feeling like it's Sagittarius. I don't even see a symbol on him. Page of Swords. He's got a book, learning. He's got the sword of truth, knowledge, and there's even a hawk on his shoulder. Bringing us to the Six of Swords. Peace of mind, balance in the mind. The bigger picture. Yes, Martin, thank you. You want to read with me? I love it. Oh, thank you, Dustin, for moderating. Dustin says, it's nice to gather with you, golden souls. Thank you, Paige, for creating this space. So overall, we have the Hangman. Look what's behind it. Temperance. Look what's behind that. The moon. Look what's behind that. Death. Wow. So, feeling like you're kind of suspended right now? That's because there's some higher knowledge, deeper wisdom, illumination, bigger picture insights that are coming to us. Whether they come through in forms of download, whether they come through in waves of emotion, whether they come through other people, other experiences, we all gather and gain our growth, our evolutionary process through many different forms, many different waves. Many, many, many. All right, let's get one last card to wrap this up. All right, we're going to go with the Starseed again. And it's important to remember that this is help. It doesn't always feel that great, but it's helping us, because we don't want to keep attracting to us or recycling the same experience over and over again. We want to trust in life. We want to trust in the flow of life and know that everything that is happening is for our greatest, highest, greatest good on this journey, and that what is meant for us to experience is coming, will come to us. How do we block it? How do we stop it? How do we even call it in and sabotage it? That's always my thing. I can manifest, but then I end up sabotaging it. Well, you can learn from that too. What beliefs, and it's hard, right? Because sometimes people in life show you something at face value, but this is a deeper journey. We have to be able to discern and to read into, what is this showing me for me? What is this teaching me for me? Forget about the other person. Don't forget about them, but like what they're saying and what they're doing, that's part of their journey. Truly, even your own children, and I've had to learn this the hard way, that is part of their journey. Even what they project to me, that is part of their journey. However, when something affects me emotionally, mentally, there's a ding, 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 an invitation to go deeper within, an invitation to be like, hey, you're going to be getting some insights on something you weren't able to see within yourself, or maybe you weren't really looking that deep to begin with. So we can truly actually thank everybody in our life experience for teaching us and helping us grow. Ego versus the soul. You're welcome, Lisa. And it's just a reminder, you know? And you know, when you manifest something or someone new into your life, it's awesome, right? You're like, this is actually coming true. It's actually coming true. Pay attention to the rest of. There are other parts. We have multiple parts within us. We're not just one mind. We've got many parts. There are parts. Even in the greatest of minds out there, there are parts that don't trust it, that will sabotage it, that will read into things through the lens of pain and abandonment and wounding and not trusting. And it's, I feel like we're really getting to a tipping point here. Many of us are. I know I was shown last night, because normally what I received last night from another would have triggered me like deeply, and it didn't. I still felt, but it wasn't like it wasn't like that game of Operation where you just get zapped by somebody else's energy. And I was like, boy, I have come a long way. I certainly have done a lot of releasing, a lot of honoring my own grief process, honoring other people's grief process too. We can't save everybody. We've got to be influential energetically. We have two. We have lost lands Soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. Oh, yes, we have. And then we also received star bathing, the light body, crystal grid, transmissions, and activations. We are certainly receiving a lot of activations right now. And it is important to, take time to really understand where your energy is going. Are you hemorrhaging your energy out and thoughts and emotions out towards other people or world events? Where's your energy? Check in with yourself. Let's read Lost Lands. Yeah. Soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. The world is far more ancient than our documented history suggests. As souls, many of us have experienced ancient eras on this planet that were much more advanced than ours today. As we begin to remember these times, the rememberings and gifts can come flooding back. At this stage in Earth's timeline, we need the wisdom of the ancients to survive as a species. You're being called to connect with the lost wisdom of your own soul. If you feel guided to make a change in your life, to step into a new career path, birth a creation, or bring an idea to life, but feel unprepared, this card is calling you to consider that you've done this before. Perhaps your soul has wisdom beyond what your lifespan can imagine. Perhaps the intuitive hits and ideas you're receiving are divinely guided. Perhaps you've been preparing for this time. Some think that lost lands exist in the past. Others believe they exist today, in a different dimension. I believe these ancient lands also exist in the souls of those who experience them. If this card comes to you, perhaps the wisdom of lost lands, such as Lemuria, Atlantis, and Avalon, exist within you. Oh, I got the chills right now. Whew. And through surrendering to the intelligence of your soul, you can unlock the seeds of these ancient lands so we can all learn from our mistakes and usher in a new age. Ooh, 11:11 Corona, California time. Oh, make Atlantis great again. Yes. Oh, I got the chills from that. Wow. So not only, I feel like a lot of these memories and people from the past that rising back up. I know for myself, the one person last night definitely was somebody that I had experienced Atlantis with in a past life. I didn't even know anything about Atlantis until I had met this person. And it didn't come from them. It came from my guides and my psychic. That's when all my psychic senses went berserk. But not berserk, but like just lit up like a Christmas tree. And I feel like we're given another opportunity. We're given another go around. We're always given new opportunities and a new go around. It is important to, let's take a peek at star bathing, but it is important to understand that we are energy beings. We're in energy bodies. And the energy driving the ship is our emotions. We can, but what happens when we bypass our emotions or numb our emotions or distract ourselves from our emotions? They just fester inside. The stars, star bathing. The stars are constantly showering emanations onto the crystalline grid of Earth. When things are in balance, the planet also sends information up to the stars. Many star seeds have come to Earth at this time to help shift the planet vibrationally, to activate the ancient codes of wisdom that humanity has forgotten. And all of that information is stored in the crystalline grid. If you pull this card, you may be called to begin working with the stars and the crystalline grid of Earth. Some people believe that the crystalline grid of the Earth anchors divine cosmic frequencies onto the planet. You may be guided to journey to particular places on Earth to unlock these cosmic codes with your presence. You may also be interested in a practice called star bathing. This card commonly arises because you're here to connect with the crystalline grid of the Earth either in your hometown or by traveling to other places without quite knowing why. It can also mean that your light body, the energy body in its highest form, is being activated. If this resonates, take things extra slow in order to integrate this change of vibration. And that's definitely true also. I think that's another reason why we have a lot of slowdown. I've felt this too, and I don't feel this all the time, but lying down in bed the last 2 nights, the right side of my body, especially like from my hip area down, starts to vibrate like tremendously. And my cat, who loves to go outside, does not want to go outside at all. I know it's cold here, but she just wants to lay on these specific parts of my body when it's vibrating. So I'm like, ooh, something's, and I allow it. Something's activating. Something's moving through my body very, very strongly, and I'm going to allow it. It's like a quaking. My mom used to take us to the Quaker meeting house when we were kids, and it was interesting because they don't talk. They sit in meditation for an hour. But as they are sitting in meditation for this hour or whatever, it seemed like an eternity as a kid, you would see them start to, like when somebody was about to talk, to channel, they would begin to quake. That's why they call them Quakers. They would begin to shake before they would stand up and whatever came out of their mouths. And I remember watching like, it doesn't even sound like it's coming from this person that's talking, and it wasn't. I didn't realize that was what channeling was until way later in my life. But yeah, cats have amazing intuition. Yes, they do. Hi, Jess. Happy Sunday. Happy new moon in Sagittarius and the first day of December. So I feel like that is the message for us all here. Again, to really check the beliefs, check the perception, how you're perceiving yourself, your experience, and others, the stories, the narrative, whatever's coming up, because we have a great opportunity right now to create something amazing, or even just create our true soul self's journey here. But I know that there's something bigger here. Don't, check yourself. If you've got a part of yourself that's saying, my problems are never going to go away, or my desires, my dreams are never going to happen, you better stop that. Stop that right now. So, yeah, that's what I have for us all. Happy new moon in Sagittarius to all of you. And oh yes, Dustin said, I hope everyone's day is filled with dancing and receiving. Yes, I am open to receiving. I am open to receiving love, information, whatever the universe has for me. And I'm definitely open to playing with my grandson. I think they're here. I just heard a car door outside. So I'm going to end this right now, but thank you all for joining me, and have a beautiful rest of your day or night, wherever you are in the world. I love you all. I'm so glad we are all here together again. And yes, gratitude for all of you too. So much love. Take care. Bye.